I think it is probably safe to say that nobody wants to be in pain.
No.
And if you have ever been on that 1 to 10 scale and you've hit the 11, you know that you'd do just about anything just to make it go away.
But for many people, it's opening that door to relieve pain that can take some down a road many just can't journey back from.
And with news that a new prescription painkiller is on the market, some are more worried than ever before. We're talking about the drug Zohydro, and although it is approved by the FDA, it's 10 times stronger than Vicodin, and worse yet, it could potentially be deadly.
This is a drug dealer's dream.
A new opioid painkiller with 5 to 10 times the power of Vicodin has ER doctors like Jim Keany worried about a disastrous spike in overdoses and deaths.
This is now putting a new drug on the market where one pill will kill a child.
Zohydro is a potent extended-release prescription painkiller that's made of pure hydrocodone.
I am really concerned about the safety of pediatric population.
Unlike other painkillers, Zohydro does not contain acetaminophen or Tylenol. It has no protective ingredients that prevent it from being crushed, snorted, and injected.
Other drugs are mixed with Tylenol, and nobody wants to inject all that Tylenol because they know it'll wipe out their liver. And so the fact that this has no Tylenol, it's the perfect, drug of abuse for drug users.
There's no need for this drug.
San Clemente dad James Kennedy lost his 28-year-old son Joseph to an overdose of prescription painkillers 4 years ago.
They gave him all 75 methadone, they gave him all 30 Xanax. And within 48 hours, my son was dead.
He says his son got the painkillers from a doctor for $150 cash.
The insanity's got to stop. Somebody has to take charge and say, hey, enough is enough.
The FDA approved the powerful painkiller against its own initial recommendations. It came out on the market this last March. On their website, the makers of Zohydro say it benefits patients with severe and chronic pain and was made with acetaminophen so that it wouldn't cause liver damage. They also add Zohydro can cause opioid abuse even if you take your dose correctly as prescribed.
We're sitting on an explosion that's about to happen.
Natalie Costa produced a documentary film about the prescription drug abuse problem in Orange County, California, Behind the Orange Curtain.
It's heroin in pill form.
Costa also heads a chapter of Fed Up, a group of parents fighting opioid abuse.
Once this gets into the wrong hands, we're going to see substantially more deaths than one every 19 minutes like we have now in this country.
So Zogenix officials say they are currently researching ways to make Zohydro non-crushable, but in the meantime, they're offering the pills in bottles with combination locks. Now, as most of us know, the prescription painkillers, for the most part, are extremely addictive, and it's not just the ones that we've already mentioned, like the OxyContin and the hydrocodone.
So now the Drug Enforcement Administration heard the cries and is now imposing stricter rules, hoping to make those drugs less accessible.
So the hydrocodone combination products are being rescheduled from Schedule 3 to Schedule 2, which means the requirements, the security protocols are much more strict on these medications. And the rationale for changing them from Schedule 3 to 2 is that they are highly abused and very addictive, and they're one of the top-selling drugs in the country. They also lead to the most prescription-related deaths because they're so highly used. So the DEA and the FDA feel that rescheduling them, making them more difficult to obtain, will help reduce the number of deaths we're seeing in the country from abuse and misuse.
When hydrocodone products become Schedule 2 drugs, they will be less accessible and require a doctor's handwritten prescription, not just a phone call to your pharmacy. But some question the effects this regulation will have.
There are actually patients who will end up doing without because it's too difficult for them to obtain the medications. It'll also drive the market towards different medications. So, whereas pharmacists or physicians are going to be more reluctant to prescribe this medication, they may prescribe something that is a Schedule 3, and then we're going to see the sales of those medications and the use and abuse of those medications increase as a result.
One substance abuse counselor says the pros outweigh the cons.
Probably going to be more work for the doctors, more work for the pharmacists. However, how far are we willing to go to help save lives, especially when it comes to addiction? Yeah, they're going to go out in the streets and go get whatever it is, but it reduces the liability for the doctors and the pharmacists if there are put in the extra work to save other people.
The DEA says the new ruling is scheduled to go into effect in October.
Well, another area that needs great care is gun safety. Still ahead on Delmarva Live, we're going to hear from the local experts on how to keep your family safe while you're still protecting your home.
Another way to keep your family safe, help law enforcement get a hold of some of Delmarva's most wanted on today's Most Wanted Monday. Delmarva Live, we'll be right back.